What's up, everyone? It's Pones here. In today's video, I'll be featuring Scareclaw Eevee, as the Eevee deck is a concept that I wanted to further improve upon after making all the versions in my previous video, but I had to get through Photon Hypernova first. But anyways, before I begin, if you could happen to click on those thumbs up and subscribe buttons, it would be greatly appreciated, as it goes a long way in supporting the channel and shows me that you like content like this. Clicking on those notification bells would also mean a lot, as they help notify you when I upload on the channel. So this deck is a literal 40 card pile, and you're gonna see that I'm gonna start with the Adventure Engine, and I'm just going to do regular Scareclaw combos to start the video before I incorporate the Eevee stuff to flesh the video out for the people learning the deck. So I'm going to use the right, bringing out the token, and then we'll put the Fateful into the Spell and Trap Zone, as we're going to normal summon the Rykart, and we'll be able to get Draco back off of the Fateful Adventure that we trigger off of normal summoning the Rykart. We'll then activate the Fateful, as we're going to get ourselves the Griffin, pitching the Draco back, and then from here we'll be able to equip the Draco back to the token, as we're going to special summon out the Griffin Rider, and now we're going to go into our Lightheart. The Lightheart will be able to get us into the Scareclaw field spell, as we're going to activate it now, and then we'll be able to get ourselves a Rykart. And the cool thing here that the Adventure Engine gives you is the 2 defense position bodies, so we'll be able to get a search and a draw here. And we're going to get ourselves the Arrival, and from here we're going to bring back the Rykart with the Arrival, which either gives you an option for a rank 4 play, or you can go straight into your Tryhard, finishing up the first combo. Now the second combo is a 2.5 card combo, and this time around you're going to see that I'm playing Fenrir. I wasn't joking when I said that this is sort of a pile deck, and especially the cool ways that they work together, but we'll bring out the Fenrir, use its effect, which will get us the Scareclaw Kashtira, and then we're going to be able to use its effect, special summon itself out while banishing the Rykart from our hand, as we're going to go into the Lightheart with the Scareclaw, and then get ourselves the field spell with the Lightheart, as we'll activate the field spell, get ourselves into the Rykart, as we'll then special summon out the Rykart, use its effect, which will get us the search for the Arrival, and from here we're going to activate the Arrival, getting ourselves back the Scareclaw Kashtira, and now we can go into our Draco stack, which will be able to get us 2 tokens on board. From here we're going to link away into our Tryhard because we need the zones, but we're then going to use the 2 tokens to go into our Cherubini, and our Cherubini will be able to get us into the Adventure package, as we're going to activate the Aqua. We'll then be able to get the right can then get us the token along with the Fateful, as we'll bring out the token, and then we'll activate the Fateful, as we're going to get ourselves the Griffin, pitch 1, as we can bring out the Griffin Rider now, giving us access to the Tryhard along with the Adventure package, off of just 2 cards and a discard. Now finally we'll be showcasing the Eevee stuff, and we're going to show the bare minimum first. So this is what you can do if you open up the field spell along with the Delicious Memory or any other Eevee quick play. But we're going to start here by activating the field spell, getting ourselves the Rykart, then we can normal summon out the Rykart and get its effect, which will get us the Arrival. Then we're going to link away the Rykart into the Lightheart, as we're going to use the Lightheart's effect to get us into a second copy of the field spell. Then we'll activate the Delicious Memory, which we can then target the Lightheart, bring out the Eevee as we pitch 1 for it, and then we'll be able to use its effect, which I'm not going to hit on it on purpose because I don't want to change what happens in this combo. But of course, if you do hit something with it, then depending on what the rest of your hand looks like, you can build upon the board, but this is just what we're doing with 2 cards. So we're going to activate the Arrival and get ourselves back the Rykart, and this will be able to get us into our Tryhard. Now this time around I'll be doing Rykart plus a quick play, and the reason for this is because when you summon Lightheart off of Rykart, you get a copy of the field spell, and when you open the field spell you can't activate the field spell twice. So we're going to start this one by normal summoning the Rykart. We'll then use its effect, which will be able to get ourselves the Arrival. We'll then go into our Lightheart, use its effect, getting us the field spell, and from here we'll activate the field spell, getting us into a copy of Scareclaw Kashtira. We'll then activate the memory, as we're going to target the field spell, pitching the Scareclaw Kashtira, bringing out our Eevee, and again we're not going to hit on it. You might see that I might add a card, but we're not going to use it. And then from here, we're going to activate the Arrival, as we're going to get back the right card, and this will get us into the Tryhard, along with getting you an extra card in your hand that you can potentially use along with the rest of your hand. Now we're going to revisit one of our previous combos, except this time around we're going to have access to an EV Quick Play. And I'm going to start this one by special summoning out the Fenrir using its effect, which will get us into a Scareclaw Kashtira. Activate the continuous spell, as this will get us into one of our quick plays. And then from here, we'll be able to activate the quick play, as we're going to send the right card to our graveyard in order to bring out the Eevee. And then from here, we'll activate the Eevee. And this one will take a little bit of luck, as you will need a quick play to get for your combo. From here, we're going to special summon out the Scareclaw Kashtira, as we're going to go into the Light Heart, getting us into our engine, as we're going to activate the Reichphobia. From here, we'll be able to get ourselves Reichheart. We have 2 defense position monsters, which is also nice about playing the EV stuff along with the Fenrir and your Scareclaw pack, getting you an extender plus a draw. So from here, we'll get ourselves the Arrival along with a draw, and then we'll go into our Tryhard. We'll activate the Arrival now, getting ourselves back the Scareclaw Kashtira, then going into our Draco Sack. This will be able to get us into our Adventure Engine, as seen previously, as we're going to use the tokens for Sheru, then use Sheru, as we're going to send the Water Enchantress, use the Water Enchantress effect, which will get us into Right, and then activate the Right. From here, we'll bring out a token, and then get ourselves the Fateful, as we're going to activate the Fateful now, get ourselves the Griffin Rider, as we're going to pitch the card that we drew off the Reichheart, and from here we'll be able to bring out the Griffin, and the Fateful will be able to get us into the Draco back, as we want to add it to the hand, as we're going to activate the Eevee Quick Play now. And then from here, we're going to bring out the Eevee from our deck, as now we have 2 options. The first, after we re-equip the equip spell, is that we do get a add off the Eevee, and this can potentially get us into a Eevee Exceed monster. But if you don't, you also have the Draco Sack, the Cherubini, along with the Eevee to go into Appaloosa, giving you 3 monster negations, along with the Griffin Rider and the Tryhard. Now, for the final combo before getting into the test hand, and this will be a 3.5 card combo, as we're going to start it by normal summoning the Reichheart. We can then use the Reichheart's effect, getting us into the Arrival. We'll then go into our Lightheart. Lightheart will then be able to get us into the Field Spell. We'll activate the Field Spell. The Field Spell will be able to get us into another copy of Reichheart that we're going to special summon under the Lightheart, and then we'll bring back the Reichheart in our graveyard with the Arrival. Now, after bringing out the Tryhard, we're going to show off one of the cool synergies that you have with this deck, which normally in Scareclaw you'd be playing the Defang in order to protect your stuff, but here we're actually going to protect it with the EV Quick Play spells, as we'll also be able to bring out a EV, and then we'll use its effect, and you're gonna see that we're gonna get the Field Spell. It doesn't matter what you get, unless your hand allows for something else, but in this replay specifically it won't. We're just going to activate it for the sake of activating it. But now we're going to activate the Eevee on our board, as we do have a Delicious Memory in our hand in order to get into an Exceed play, allowing you to get into Tryhard along with one of your Eevee Exceeds off of 3.5 cards. You also have the protection from the memory on the Tryhard. Now onto the test hands, and you'll see that I opened Griffin Rider on this one. We also open another one of, which is the Field Spell, and even another one of with the Scareclaw Kashtira, but we're going to start this hand by activating the Kashtira Field Spell. We'll get ourselves into Fenrir, as we're going to special summon that out, use its effect, which will get us into another copy of itself. We'll then activate the Right, as we're going to bring out the token and place our Fateful, and then from here we'll activate the Fateful, getting us into an Aqua. We'll pitch the Fenrir, as we're then going to activate the Scareclaw Kashtira, chain the Griffin Rider to it to get it on board, as we're then going to have 2 level 7s on board, but we'll also have the ability to have the Fateful's effect in order to get the Draco back on our hand. And we actually have 3 level 7s, but we'll only be using 2 of them, as we're going to go into our Lightheart with the Scareclaw Kashtira, getting us into the Scareclaw Field Spell, as we're then going to activate the Field Spell, and then we'll get ourselves the Reichphobia, or the Reichheart, as we'll be able to special summon it, getting ourselves a Search along with a Draw, and from here we can then bring out the Water Enchantress via her effect, as we're going to link away into our Tryhard now, activate our Arrival, which will get us back into the Scareclaw Kashtira we can then exceed away into our Draco sack as we're going to bring out the 2 tokens, and then from here we're going to go into our Cherubini as we'll be able to activate the Delicious Memory now, as we'll then protect our Tri-Heart with it, bringing out the Eevee. And again, it depends on what you get here, but you'll see that we're going to equip the Draco back onto our Adventure token as we're going to excavate 3 with the Eevee. And if you choose to go into an Eevee Exceed monster, you can, or you can just make the Appaloosa under the Tri-Heart for the 3 extra monster negations, as we'll activate the My Friend now, as this will get us into a quick play. And then from here, it's just kind of luck dependent, because if you choose to do this, as you see, I'm going to protect the Appaloosa, and then I'm going to use the Eevee. If you get into a quick play, you'll be able to then go into an extra Exceed monster to round out your board with 3 monster negations via the Appaloosa, the Omni Negate, off of Griffin, the Tri-Heart, which will put all your opponent's stuff into defense position. They're also protected by 2 Happy Memories as far as your Appaloosa and your Tri-Heart are, but we'll then also have the graveyard interaction with the Plump, or you could even have a monster negation depending on which the quick play you see. Now for the final hand, and this one will still be able to combo pretty well, as we'll activate the Water Enchantress. We're going to activate the Right now, as we're going to then get ourselves the token along with the Fateful. We'll be able to normal summon the Reichheart, as we'll be able to get ourselves the Draco back off the Fateful Adventure, and then we'll activate the Fateful Adventure to get ourselves the Griffin Rider, pitching the Draco back. The Draco back will then equip itself to the token, as we're going to activate the Griffin Rider from our hand, special summoning it out, as we're going to now go into our Lightheart, get ourselves into the Field Spell, as the Field Spell will then be able to get us into another copy of Reichheart. We'll special summon out the Reichheart, get its effect, which will get us an Arrival along with a draw, as we get ourselves into a Terraforming, and then we'll activate the Arrival, getting ourselves back the Reichheart. And again, whether you want to make a rank 4 here or go into the Tri-Heart is up to you and the choices you play in your deck, but we're going to go into the Tri-Heart, and then we'll be able to activate the My Friend, which will get us into a Eevee quick play. And then from here, we're going to activate the Terraforming, and this will get us into the Eevee Field Spell, as we're going to activate the Happy Memory, protecting our Tri-Heart, and now we can pitch one as we'll get ourselves into Eevee. We'll use the Eevee's effect, as we're going to get an addition here, as we do hit the Pretty Memory, and then we'll be able to activate the Field Spell here, as we're going to use the Eevee's effect in order to get into our monster negation, Seed monster from the Eevee, also attaching the Delicious Memory, and then on our end phase we can get the effect of the Field Spell in order to attach a quick play from our deck or graveyard onto the monster negator, giving us an end board of the Tri-Heart, along with the adventure stuff, the monster negation Eevee, which is a quick effect, along with the Eevee Field Spell and an extra excavation that you can choose to set or keep in your hand if you need the follow-up. As when we do draw on our next turn, we'll be able to pitch we draw in order to get you into another Eevee, so that's kind of cool. It also gives you extra life points. So with all of the replays out of the way, I can finally get onto the deck profile, and there is kind of a lack of going second cards, and that's what happens when you play a pile in 40 cards. But we still do have space for the Fenrir's, which are Engine, and then you have the Book of Eclipse, so that's kind of nice. The adventure stuff can be somewhat decent going second, especially if you do choose to play the Illegal Knight. In a deck filled with engines like this, I just feel it's better off to leave the going second stuff like evenly on your sideboard so that you can bring out everything you need to for whatever matchup you're playing against, while having 6 cards that are typically good against at least everything to a certain extent. You'll see that the only field spell I play at 3 is the Scareclaw one, and it's because you want access into your Reichheart, being able to protect it with your Eevee stuff while also having access to potential Eevee Exceeds you can get from playing 9 of the quick plays, along with 3 searchers for it, 3 copies of itself that can potentially get you into an Exceed what it excavates. Important for the consistency of the deck. So there is an argument that you can go over 40, as you do play 9 1-ofs in your deck, and some of them aren't necessarily great to see, especially going second, like the Eevee Trap or the Draco back and stuff like that. I wanted to give a skeleton list for a concept like this. See that the extra deck is filled with 2-ofs, And I understand that Unicorn plus Mind Hacker is a thing which can kind of kill this deck if they hit both your tryhards or both your lighthearts. Hitting both the Nors can be pretty rough too. I believe that Cash is kind of a matchup you just have to side for, because when you're playing the Adventure Engine, you're already risking banishing that stuff. We do play a lot of one-ofs in our deck. Banishing alone can hurt, so even if this isn't the perfect format for it, I think that the diversity help ease that a little bit. Anyways, with all of that out of the way, I'll get onto the card by card. So we have the EV field spell, the 3 EVs, 3 Friend, the 3 Book of Eclipse, the 1 Arrival, Draco back, the Leap, the 3 Happy Memory, the 3 Fenrir, the 1 Scareclaw Kashtira, 1 Kashtira field spell, the 1 Terraforming, the 3 Reich Phobia, the 3 Reichheart, the 3 Pretty Memory, the 3 Delicious Memory, the 3 Happy Memories, the Griffin Rider, the 2 Water Enchantress, the 2 Rights, and the 1 Fateful to round out the main deck. To the extra deck, we have the Appaloosa and the Access Code, and these are basically follow-up. Your next turn, if you want to be able to attack over your opponent's stuff, you need to end on a board after your turn is over, then you have Appaloosa, but if you can go for game, you have Access Code. And the 2 copies of Tryhard, Cherubini, the 2 Lighthearts, the 2 Nors, the 1 Draco Sack, the 1 Happiness, the 2 Beauty, and the 2 Plumps to round out the extra deck. I know it might be weird to not see Zeus in the extra deck. It felt weird taking it out, but that's just one of the consequences of playing so much Engine and being able to build bigger boards with those Engine cards that necessarily don't even want to clear. The EV stuff is meant to be a complementary part to the rest of other engines. Helps you protect and apply pressure. Anyways, that's all I have for today's video, and if you made it this far, I thank you so much for watching and I hope you enjoyed. If you have any suggestions, feel free to leave them down below. It's Bones, signing out.